Hello viewers, our guest today is Mr. Macxzzon Muhwezi, a member of the NRM Youth League. Macxzzon, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, just straight to the point. In your own view, what is the status of Uganda's multi-party dispensation?
Thank you. It is a huge case, but to understand that and to help the viewers understand the whole issue is that in 1967, all kingdoms, the chiefdoms, and political systems were abolished, and Uganda became a republic. I am bringing this to the effect of the importance and cruciality of this month of September. That was September 1967. 1968, we see, still in September, we see Idi Amin becoming chief of staff. 1972, still September, we see President Museveni, Museveni and Obote, the guerrillas, attacking Uganda from Tanzania. And still in September, in 1978, President Amin attacks Tanzania, claiming that Tanzania had provoked Uganda. Still, in 1978, in September, we see the then Chief Justice, Benedicto Chwandaka, dragged from buildings of court. And since that time, we have never seen him. That is the month of September, and I'm happy that you have brought me today to discuss in September. But most importantly, 27 years ago, 1995, the then Constituent Assembly, September 1995, Constituent Assembly enacted the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda that has defined the political terrain and direction of Uganda. And in 2005, 2006, we started seeing political systems and political organizations coming back into play. But what we pick from all that and from history is that it has been defined by competition, the political system, the political climate, the political parties. The whole essence of political parties was to provide competition.
Okay, fair enough. People have accused the NRM and most opposition that you were never interested in the multi-party dispensation. And that is why when you go back to the Referendum Act of 2000 that was passed by Parliament, where the campaign run by the NRM purportedly was to be a JECO. So it looks like the NRM, according to the opposition players, that you were never interested in multi-party dispensation, but you wanted the movement system even up to date.
No, it is not true. We wanted to listen to Ugandans because the first issue is what the Ugandans want. You see, the difference is that the past regimes were capturing power. The interest was all about capturing power. The groups were about capturing power, not necessarily considering what Uganda and what Ugandans wanted at that time. So for the case of the NRM, it was what Ugandans wanted. And I can tell you that society has got needs. If the need, 2005, 2006, if the need was the restoration or introduction of political systems, multipartism, then we listen to Ugandans and we can only confirm with the election.
So you mean the NRM has ever since embraced multi-party dispensation?
Absolutely, it has supported it. It has worked to the laws and to the guidelines of multipartism. It has worked to the constitution, and it has also played a very, very, very huge role in sustaining, but also motivating all other Ugandans to participate. Because you see, even when there is multipartyism, you have some countries that have got multi-party systems, but but practically they are on monopartyism, what we call a single party rule. Yes, the constitution or the law of the land provides that the country must have multipartyism, but practically you find a country is running a monoparty. So it has been the work of the national resistance movement, first of all, to fund the competitors. Where have you ever seen someone, you're fighting with someone, but you instead giving him a gun, that please get this gun, I also get mine. So we see who shoots the other. It is unheard of for the first time to see a government supporting opponents. So it is one of the serious indicators of multipartyism here in Uganda.
Okay, thank you. Just as we conclude, the Netherlands Institute for Multiparty Democracy has I think the last 2 weeks or a week, mentioned that they will withdraw their support for IPOD should IPOD not incorporate National Unity Platform and the Forum for Democratic Change. Does this threaten the existence of IPOD?
Oh, not at all. It does not, because 2010 February, when this IPOD was established by 6 parties, it was not hinged and also informed by the fact that we are forming this IPOD, but on the basis of being supported by donor. These are development partners. You can choose to give me, you can choose to help me, or you can choose not to. But what I can assure you is that DGF threatening to withdraw, and also NIMD withdrawing, doesn't necessarily mean that IPOD is going to collapse. Instead, it is going to be stronger. Why? Then we are going to be funding it ourselves. Ugandans are going to be funding it, and therefore it can only dance to the tunes of Ugandans. Instead of, yes, accepting help, but help comes with a lot of irregularities. That, please, I have given you this daughter of mine, go and marry her, but make sure she doesn't put on these shoes, make sure you don't sleep with her, make sure she doesn't produce more than 2 children. It is not necessary. So we appreciate the development partners, but if they deem it fit that it is no longer important for them to support us, then it is okay. I can assure you IPOD is going to be stronger than before.
Okay, but as IPOD in the past stood the test of time, because we have seen IPOD come up with resolutions, but they're never implemented. Is it a body worth even looking up to?
You see, that's the problem. Implementation does not happen in just a day of meeting or even a day of summit. These are processes. Because then, if you come up with, for instance, an argument from JEMA or from FDC, you're not going to start operationalizing it in the morning. First of all, we understand that they are standing laws of the land. It means you must go through the processes of overturning them, because they are current laws that are governing the political system. So if you want to do otherwise, it means you go through the process, and maybe we should question the process. What is the process? And the process is about time, but also not everyone can amend. The summit can give proposals, the Secretary Generals can give proposals, but the role of amendment is by Parliament. Yes.
That's right. Well, conclusively, it looks like the NUP has decided to not participate in anything that the NRM seems to be championing. You look at IPOD, where they've withdrawn, and now even in the IALA elections, they seem to suggest that they will not participate because the NRM still enjoys dominance in that field. What do you make of that?
It is paradoxical. It is laughable and paradoxical, because you cannot participate at the village in the general election. You participate at parish. You participate at sub-county in elections. You participate at the district level. Then you even go to the Parliament of Uganda. You also field the candidate for presidential election. Then you say, when it comes to Iyara, I am not going there. It is paradoxical. They are just preying on the mind of Ugandans. So it is very bad to preach water, to tell people to take wine. And for you hide and take, and take, I mean, you tell people to take water, for you take wine. It is not important. Because why don't they withdraw from parliament as well? Because then there is no difference between, if it is about dialogue, the first case of parliament is about legislature. It means it is a war of brains. It is a battle of intellectuality, intellectual cross-pollination. Then why are they running away from that? They stick to parliament. They agree with each and everything in parliament. They accept the funding from parliament. They accept the salaries. They accept the leadership they have. But then otherwise they say no. It is paradoxical. We can only laugh at them.
Do they have any legitimate concerns?
Absolutely not. Because then, if you have legitimate concerns, you come and tell me that so and so, in the presence of all other players, that you say, ladies and gentlemen, much as we are together in this is not correct, or this is correct. But so you don't run away. You don't run away. You don't have the balls to lead Uganda. If you can run away from a mere iPod, how can we trust you with the military? Don't you run away?
They're saying that FDC has been part of that iPod and have proposed certain things that have not
We go back to the question of proposing. FDC has not said we are withdrawing, and it has been part of the system. NUP has not even tested the waters. So what are they opposing? You have not said hello to a lady, but then you say that lady does not like me. You try, you test. So what exactly is NUP proposing? It has not tested the iPod. It has not participated. I'm not too sure whether it will participate. Then what exactly is it proposing? Because it should be saying, it should actually be FDC saying, because of so and so and so and so and so, we are not going to take part. But I've also told you that when it comes to amendments and reforms, it is a constitutional process. Uganda is not a jungle, Comrade Kidega. Everyone cannot wake up in the morning and amend or even reform or introduce reforms. You must go through the constitutional processes, but also establishment systemically. So unless they want us to wake up in the morning and say, ladies and gentlemen, so from today we no longer have anything, we have agreed with what the NUP or even what iPod is saying. It is a process. And I can tell you some of the things have been actualized, amendments proposals from iPod. We have seen actualization. The other day, we saw the Honorable Norbert Mao suggesting that there are political prisoners or there are prisoners that are still in jail innocently. I remember the president released more than 72. You remember? The state released more than 72 prisoners, and people are happy. I remember iPod was suggesting that please, even when we are converging under one umbrella of dialogue, but this funding is not enough. It was 10 billion. Now they are running a budget of 35 billion. And most of them are beneficiaries. So so if you can run away from such a sweet case, so where are you going?
Okay. Yeah. Lastly, I know that the youth have formed the multi-party youth forum. And this appears to be a similarity of iPod. Are you only borrowing the good practices of iPod, or some of the bad practices like intolerance are also coming into the multi-party youth forum? First of all, what is the membership of that forum? The membership of
it is informed by all political parties that are in parliament, that have representation in parliament. But still, even with the youth construction, NUP still gives a blind eye and a deaf ear to the process.
So
However,
is NUP part of your forum?
It is not. It is not, and we can only wish it well. What I can tell you is that if you cannot agree to the process that brings cohesion, brings unity, because you see, these are young people. What precedent are you setting? That in everything humanly possible, or in all situations, there is no room for dialogue. Then you're setting a bad precedent. You're sending this country into turmoil. The young people you're grooming and nurturing, but also preparing to take over the country, are going to grow knowing that there is no essence for dialogue at all. When I look at Comrade Kidega, provided he's from a different political party, then he's my enemy. I can only hate him, I can only abuse, I can only attack, I can only address him, I can only spread propaganda around him. So it is just a shame. It is a shame, and we can only wish them good luck.
Lastly, your comments on the Yala elections.
I belong to the National Resistance Movement, and we have unanimously maintained the position of our 6 members of parliament of the Yala, but also to have a hand to whoever believes in the integration of East Africa, but also Africa. So we shall see the NRM going forward. What I don't agree with, actually, Comrade Kidega on Yala is that this is the time for the young people also to participate in Yala. Because if you are saying 64% of the young people across the East Africa are young people, and they don't have representation in parliament, we are saying they are going to live here longer. So what exactly are they planning there? Yes, we can say they are planning for us, but how sure can we be that they are experts of our views?
Are you against your party decision?
Not at all. It is a process. I can only suggest. It is a suggestion. I'm thinking about it. Maybe in the next meetings I can suggest.
What suggestion? That youth should have
Absolutely.
affirmative action in
yes,
Yala?
They should have representation in Yala, because then if we appreciate the processes, it is still at infancy, they are revitalizing it, reviving it. Yes, maybe at a certain time, we need to consider all of those, not necessarily young people. We need to see all groupings represented there. Then it makes sense, because you see, democracy means you have people. If you don't have people, you don't win. So you cannot say we only have mature people in Yara, but discussing cross-cutting issues. It is a kind of contradiction.
Wow, thank you for sparing time.
Thank you.
Your last words to our viewers.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to have the opportunity to once again be hosted here, and I wish you very good luck.
Well, thank you. That has been Comrade Macxzzon Muhwezi from the NRM Youth League, and you've heard his views. That and much more in our subsequent editions of the guests that we shall be having here. Bye-bye.